Hi everyone, this is Jenn from McCreath. Today is Thursday, March 1st, 2018. It is, God, I'm still awake, 2 o'clock in the morning. Anyways, we got an article in the Telegram's website. I'm going to read it for you right now. Noah Davis Power resigns as St. John's Pride co-chair. Articles written by David Mayer, david.mayer at thetelegram.com. It says a scuffle with the RNC and the departure of several board members. St. John's Pride co-chair Noah Davis Power will resign effective Saturday. My cat is meowing in the background. He's hungry. Davis alleged the RNC had wrongly targeted gay in 1993. Davis says his decision isn't just based on controversy surrounding the ban. Says that Pride has been operating below the mandated number of board members since November, and recent departures helped along his decision to step aside. Quote, I understand that my politics aren't coinciding with a lot of the community feels right now. I don't think Pride is about one person. It's never about one person's. When it is, you've lost the goal, he said, meaning Noah. In January, Amanda Kane left the board. On Saturday, when the original story was published, Paul Comden left the board. On Tuesday, Gary Hall left the board. Davis Power says Kane and Hall left for personal reasons, but Comden did take exception to Pride's stance on a potential ban and resigned in protest. Whew! So everything I've been saying today has unfolded, and it is true. What else is here? We have an ad popping up on this page. I hate when that happens. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Backing up. I am going to show a screenshot of this so you know. I hate when these damn pop-up ads. You should just be able to click on them to go away. And it just doesn't work like that. You have to bear with me for folks here.
You can, because Lobsterfest won't last.
Lobsterfest, yeah, okay, mute button. Alright, where were we here? Okay. Derek Semerad is the remaining board member who will now oversee a by-election for the vacant positions. The by-election will take place on March 17. Davis Power maintains that an apology is needed. I don't want to get into the rest of that piece. Pride has already been laid out for 2018 Pride Week, or plans have been laid out for Pride. An incoming board will choose to either follow through with them or take their own direction. That is what the article said. And to prove it to you, I will show you. Noah Davis Power resigns. Where's the Telegram's logo? There it is, right there, Telegram. I'm not making this up. David Mayer, 3 hours ago, so this just broke. It's 11, well, it's 2:15 a.m. now, so this broke really late. The article's all there. Okay, put the camera back on me to talk for a minute. Oh, and you gotta zoom it back out. Whoa. You don't want to see too much of me now, do you, folks? This is not a happy day. Noah and I have not gotten along for many years. I'd be lying if I said I was completely sad that he is no longer running this program. He ran St. John's Pride in 2013, and I took major exceptions to the things he'd done and a lot of the ways he disrespected and treated me. However, I want to take a look at this document right here, the St. John's Pride Bylaws, September 2014. This is the problem here. This, I mean, it's a very huge, large, complex document, and it's too much. The original bylaws written for St. John's Pride was a lot simpler. It was not this complex. It evolved from a set of 3 directors into a set of 5 directors. And that amount of growth in itself was huge. And a year or 2 later, the folks expanded it to this here. Now, I've written a report in 2016, put it on my blog, suggesting on how St. John's Pride can clean up their problems. And I guess the next question is, do I want to get back involved in this or not? I kind of feel like it's my baby, because myself, Brandon Jenkins, and Lauren King launched St. John's Pride Incorporated September 14th, 2010. We ran a very successful 2011 Pride Week. And in early September, or early March, I believe it was, 2012, I left, but for the first time ever, I got St. John's Pride on mainstream 6 o'clock news, and was able to facilitate, with the help of a few others, to get, I believe, 75 people to come out to a Pride meeting in March, which had never been done before, to create 3 replacements for me on my way out. And I thought this would put Pride in good hands. The 2012 people who came in, I thought they did a fairly decent job. Unfortunately, from then to 2014, we've seen too many problems, and so I guess if I am going to put myself forward, we need a slate of candidates. First of all, this co-chair stuff. Well, there's a whole. You know what? Since we're here, and I got you listening, I'm going to call up that old report right now. Give you my suggestions and recommendations of what needs to happen, in my opinion, to fix Pride. Because right now you've got a system where you're throwing 9 people together every year. You've got a 2-tiered system. 3 people at the top are considered co-chairs, and they seem to be able, they have power and authority over the other 6 at-large members. And you need a fair system. You need a board situation where everyone on the board has an equal say. So ultimately, I think that has to go. I'm trying to find my blog. Here we go. St. John's Pride, breaking their own rules, needs intervention. 2016, I wrote this. Yeah, regular publishing of financial information. They have not published financials publicly on their website since 2014. They still haven't done that. They have not held by-elections within 2 weeks of resignations of board members. They have not published an annual report since 2014. Now, there were some other problems in 2016 that are not necessarily applicable to what's going on now. Okay, membership policy. The membership policy is not clear enough, nor does it recognize a method for identifying members to be formally credentialed. That's my question now for this. Derek Semerard is our last remaining board member. He's allegedly going to run an election. And I guess the question is, does he have a list of so-called eligible voters? Who is allowed to vote in Pride? Well, it says right here in the bylaws how people are accredited. And remember, Pride is stuck with this until this election is over. They do not have quorum. They cannot change this. The only people that can change this will be a new batch of 9 people, because you need at least 6 people to agree to change this. Our membership reflects our intention to be inclusive as possible. Membership of Pride shall consist of such individuals whose application for admission to the membership has received in its sole discretion of the board of directors. Membership is determined by previous attendance at Pride events, must live or have lived on the Avalon Peninsula any time after the date of incorporation, must be 16 years old or older, or have a stake in Pride as a movement or institution. My understanding is that anybody who has been granted a email token to vote in any St. John's Pride election between 2012 and 2017 and now 18 are deemed members. There could be other people who are deemed members. I don't know, and that could be an issue. Derek, you got 2 weeks to figure out who's eligible to vote in this thing. And, but yeah, membership policy needs to be clear-cut. And if I do run for Pride and do put a slate of candidates together, we will write a membership policy that's clear-cut. And we're not going to pick and choose who's allowed to be a member. We're going to let anyone be a member. There may be a waiting period before new members can have a say in voting, there's not going to be a secret process. People who want to be identified with St. John's Pride, in my opinion, need to be issued a membership card that says they are a member, and their name should be published in some sort of a guide. You want to know who the members of Pride are? Here they are. You want to talk to them? Here they are. Not just board members and executives, but members. That's what a non-profit is all about. Two-tiered board structure's got to go. I talked about that earlier. Board position job titles. The general purpose of any board of directors is to oversee an organization and provide guidance. Boards are supposed to appoint or hire people to do the actual work. Tying specific job titles to board positions may put undue pressure on board members to get work done on their own rather than give the freedom to delegate to others. Also, while members of the organization deserve a say in who sits on the board, they might not have all information necessary to determine the job past or suitability for board members. There's a big difference between a job interview and a board election. 2-year term, this thing is a problem. I think it should be a 1-year term. No 2-tier, no co-chairs. The board is too big. 9 board members is too many, given the age of the organization and the small size of their identifiable membership. Board member commitment has been an issue. Confidentiality and non-compete clause doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now let's get into the solutions, folks. Here's my solutions. If I do, in fact, put together a team to run Pride, I don't want to run Pride. I don't want to be the president. I don't want to be any of these fancy people. I just want a Pride that works. I want to come in here and put together a team that I know has the experience of working in nonprofits and the skill set to pull this off. Okay, solutions. We're going to shrink the board to 5. This is going to be ripped up. We're going to go back to the earlier document that I wrote way back in 2012, a few days before I resigned from Pride, because I think we're back to where we are. We're building this thing practically from scratch now. Shrink the board to 5 members. All seats will hold equal weight in terms of power in voting. Elect a chair, a vice chair, and 3 at-large. All 5 seats having equal voting power with majority. Appoint a volunteer executive director to run the organization and who will report to the board. The executive director will attend all board meetings, will act as a liaison between the board and the members and the general public. 4, specific job duties will not be voted on by the public. That's another problem with this, is that you're asking the general public to vote for people into positions who have strict set of job specs. There's a big difference between being capable and qualified to sit on a board versus being capable and qualified to undertake work. Let's elect a board of bright people, and then they can decide a process for bringing in the right people who are capable of doing the right job. That's why you have an executive director. You've got board members, you're going to have an executive director. They will break down this piece of work. They will decide who all needs to be brought in to do all the work that needs to be done. It can't be done by just a board of 3 or 5 or 9 people. And I don't think it's fair to ask members of the general public to basically give people jobs or the responsibilities. They're all volunteer positions, but yeah. Finding resources to do Pride work requires a human resource management program styled process, not a free-for-all where members of the public can give people job duties that they may not be qualified to do. All board seats are up for election every year. Board members should file a $100 bond to the organization. I've had too many people sign up and then quit. Well, you got to put a bond out there. $100 says you will stay and work with Pride for the full term. If you leave early, your $100 it does not get refunded. It gets donated into the organization. Qualifications for membership rights needs to be quantified and not just left to the discretion of the board. A certified credential is to be issued. I kind of covered that already. Clear-cut policy to be developed regarding how financial decisions are made, including tenders and requests for proposals. Complete financial statements to be published on the organization's website every year. Actually, I said every 3 months. That might be stretching it. But this organization needs to be transparent. Too much secrecy has gone on over the past few years, and that has led to what appears to be corruption and power struggle. Everything must go on the website. You can't just use Facebook. You have your website. You list exactly who you are, what you do, what your mandate is. Public meetings need to be held. There have been no public meetings outside of the annual AGM. Public meetings need to be held every 3 months, with at least 3 weeks notice on the website, date and location. People need to be able to see Pride and come to Pride and be a part of Pride in the planning process year-round, not just during Pride Week. So it's time to end these secret meetings. It's going to be public meetings. Everyone's going to be welcome to attend. Information and records management policy to be created and enforced by the organization. Policy should be consistent with policies currently in place for the provincial government. You must, as a non-profit company, keep your records in order and have policies for how that works. I do run other non-profits. I even run federal charities. And if the feds do audits. If they wanted to come and audit me, I need to be able to show them all the paperwork and all that sort of stuff. That I don't think anyone in St. John's Pride could produce any type of document for an auditor going back as many as 6 years. I still have all my stuff from 2010 and 11, but I have no clue. I did pass on master copies. But they have, I gather, don't exist. The 2012 Pride did their own thing. The 2013 Pride did their own thing, and nobody kept records. Nobody passed on information. Okay, this silly clause that they've got at the very back of this, you're not allowed to compete. There's gag orders, and you can't work for St. John's Pride competitors. St. John's Pride does not have competitors. This is not a private business world. There'll be none of that garbage. Reinstate the policy from March 2012 bylaws that gives the board the power to remove fellow board members who violate the laws or who could cause other type of harm. Finally, a separate standalone organization with 5 different board members will be created to audit St. John's Pride once a year. Right now, nobody can audit St. John's Pride but themselves or their appointed whoever's. That's not a credible auditor. I've got suggestions there on my blog on how to have that set up as well. People seem to downplay the work I did, Brandon Jenkins did, and Lauren King did in 2010 when we created St. John's Pride Incorporated. Ultimately, though, if you look at the actual work that was done between September 2010 and March 2012, I think you would see that the actual work done was progressive and positive for the LGBTQ community of St. John's. Now, people don't like me, and they chose to say negative things about the organization and all this. Everything was a bad idea just because it was my idea. And amazingly, after I left, all of these bad ideas that they were going to get rid of, well, they kept pretty much all of them. So I don't know if people still don't like me and don't trust me. That's unfortunate. But take a look at this work. And then take a look at the work I've done, the suggestions I've made, the recommendations I've made. I want to see Pride work. It's imperative for someone like me. I am a 44-year-old, unemployed, transgender woman living in St. John's, Newfoundland. That is not an easy life to live. I've had trouble finding employment. I've had trouble finding health care. I've had trouble making friends. I've had trouble being taken seriously. I need a St. John's Pride organization that's going to take steps to be there as a resource for me, to help me and others like me. Whether it's lobbying the government to change some of these old health policies, to working with other nonprofits and private sectors to create more awareness of diversity and encourage. We need to encourage people and organizations to embrace the diversity that we have. A lot of LGBTQ people, specifically the trans community, because that's my primary core focus, we're highly educated people. Most trans people have a university education. Yet nobody wants to give them a job because they don't understand transness. I have a bachelor degree. I have a college diploma. I don't have a master's degree, but I bet if I were to have some sort of scholarship, cash made available to me, I would gladly go and do the program, and I guarantee you I have what it takes to get a master's degree. Well, this video is really starting to get long, but I just hope that the point has been made. And again, I'm really not sure I want to run Pride again at this time in my life, but I would like to see a team put together. I'm sick and tired of having to watch from the sidelines and see her horror stories unfold in front of my eyes. I want to take steps to put good people in there who will do the right things and not the wrong things or the stupid things. And if that means me assembling a team, that's what I will do. I have a lot of connections, a lot of great people in the LGBT community here in St. John's, again, who have often been overlooked for one reason or another. Yeah, I think I am going to put together a slate, and we'll see what we can do with this, because yeah, it's an absolute disgrace and an embarrassment to our community and to our city to see a Pride organization completely break apart and fall into a state of turmoil and shambles. That's going to make national news. It's going to be an embarrassing story. People in Halifax, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, maybe even down in the States are going to learn about this, and we're going to be the laughingstock. And we need to stand up and and fix this. And I'd like to take a look at all this work that's been done in secret and in private. According to this news article, they've already put together a lot of work towards Pride. Well, let's take a look at this. See what they've done. We won't automatically just turf it all out. If they've got some good ideas already on the go, then we'll keep them. If there's things that are missing, if there's gaps, then we'll try to fill them. Anyways, if you want to be part of a team that will come together, rewrite the rules on how Pride operates into something more sensible and feasible, then get in touch with me, and we'll go from there. Not hard to find. Just write me back. Jennifer McCreath, thanks for watching.